Namaste. Thank you for clicking on this video. I would like to talk about Kuan Yin, and in this version, this is Wild Kuan Yin. I selected a few of my favorite oracles to read through today, just for anyone who is interested in diving deeper into the wild divine. Before I get started, I will talk a little bit about who Kuan Yin is from this book. Kuan Yin is a divine being originally honored in the Buddhist traditions of East Asia. She is said to have lived upon this earth and in her passing decided to remain spiritually connected to the earth to help all beings to reach spiritual enlightenment. She is known as a Bodhisattva, a being who has dedicated her spiritual path to the freedom and happiness of all beings. Her purpose is to help humanity awaken to live their divine destiny. And there are various faces of the Divine Mother. Mother Mary is another one, and so is the dark goddess Kali from the Hindu tradition. These various faces of the divine, including Kuan Yin, love you unconditionally. They don't mind if you are a Christian praying to a Buddhist goddess or a Tibetan Buddhist praying to a Hindu deity. They just want to help you. They don't judge you. They don't criticize you. They see you, know you, love you, and want to assist you fulfill your divine potential. The Divine Mother, in all her forms and through all her faces, wants to assist all beings in finding fulfillment, happiness, and peace. She will give her gift of rebellious encouragement on the spiritual path, of kindness and compassion, through many willing vehicles. Jesus is one example that comes to mind. The Dalai Lama is another. Those helpers of humanity on the path to love and truth, who serve without judgment or agenda, who simply love others unconditionally, are the many hands of the Divine Mother upon the earth. If you feel strongly about helping others and living a life of freedom, truth, and love, then you too are a vehicle through which the Divine Mother can weave her presence into the world. So whilst Kuan Yin is a spiritual being, her presence can be felt through the many humans dedicated to love and service, to the freedom of the human soul. Her presence and connection with the earth is very strong at this time in human development, as many souls are struggling to find hope, light, and courage on their life journey. Those who receive Kuan Yin's blessing, help, and wild loving energy don't necessarily know a lot about her, and that is just fine. All we need to genuinely connect with the grace and assistance of Kuan Yin, or any other divine being of unconditional love, is to ask for help and be open to receiving it. It is a vehicle through which divine assistance and blessing can reach us more easily. This oracle deck, Wild Kuan Yin, will connect you with the wild spirit of Kuan Yin. This is the part of her that is inventive, thinks along unusual lines, and is open to life in ways that haven't been experienced yet. This is part of the significance of her being depicted as youthful. It is a symbol for curiosity and openness to life. Some of the wisest beings are truly like children, always open to life to show them something new, another way, always open to learning. This is a wise path, for there is always another way to look at something, another way to live, another way for life to unfold, completely beyond our expectations or current levels of experience. The youthful spirit in Kuan Yin, and in you, and in the author, Alana Fairchild, is the part of us that is daring, that is open, that is willing to take chances and then see what happens. This is the part of us that doesn't believe we already know it all. To close the mind like that can close us off from life, from the miraculous. The open mind is willing to believe even in what seems unlikely or impossible at the time. There are just too many things we take for granted in the world today that even just a year or two ago would not have seemed possible. Go back nearly a lifetime, and there will be even more. So it stands to reason that what seems impossible or is unknown at this moment could be completely real and normal to us in some short time. The childlike part of our nature, that open-minded, curious attitude to life, is essential if we are going to be naughty miracle workers on this planet, thwarting convention and creating loving medicine for the ailments of the world. This oracle deck will help you remember to stay young at heart. There is so much wonder coming your way. Keep your mind open and curious so you can receive it. You can grow older and sustain youthfulness with wisdom this way. Or, of course, you can age and wither away in life if you so choose. The latter is the more conventional approach, but rather less appealing. Don't you agree? It takes strength to age and remain open, but it can be done. We just have to know how to keep our heart open and be receptive to life, even when there has been pain at various times on our journey. The guidance in this oracle deck will help you remain open to divine help, especially at those times when you feel challenged. That's when we need help most of all. And with that openness, we gain the benefit of self-possession and empowerment that comes with maturity, and the curiosity and interest in life that comes with childlike openness to learning and exploring what is and what could be. It's a most beautiful combination of traits, and you have it within you to embody this wise, open, loving, and empowered being. May Kuan Yin help you find this beautiful spiritual being within. So, with that being said, I did pull some cards before, my top 6 cards. Seven. It looks like I couldn't narrow it down to only 6. There's so many divine cards in this oracle deck that can help you really connect with Kuan Yin. And that's why I'm doing this video today, so that I can spend more time with Kuan Yin in this way, a little bit more intimate than usual. Because it's a very high quality deck. Sometimes I'm hesitant to even pull it out because of how well the art is made, how well the oracle cards feel. And so, yeah, these are my top cards. I have 3 horizontal and 4 vertical. I'll start with the vertical. The Snow Shepherdess. Wild Red Rider, blessing bestowed. Ancestral guardians of light, and play with me. And the 3 horizontal I selected. Harvest Mother watches over me. Blue Mother, Yellow Mountain, Gibbous Moon. And White Mantra Mother protects. Here is the Snow Shepherdess. I come to you with news of unexpected life. Something that seemed once impossible, without energy or hope of success, is coming to life. Not only is this an unexpected happening, but it will be taking place when you think it is least likely. I come with the decree that life shall have its way, no matter what circumstances appear to dictate, and in the midst of great loss, scarcity, or denial of life, a blessing of abundance, fertility, and new beginnings will be given. So it shall be, by divine decree. Life has its own power to prevail. Whilst abundance may be more obvious when we are in feast instead of famine, or in a lush jungle instead of a desert, whether or not an oasis looms over the next sand hill, life will happen even in the most unlikely of situations. The small green shoot that sprouts out of a crack in a city pavement is an expression of life's bold, prevailing will. The oracle of the Snow Shepherdess comes to you at a time when new life, the fulfillment or granting of a wish or desire, the energy for creating something abundant and luscious, seems unlikely, to say the least. Perhaps it has been so long coming that hope has been dispensed with, or a project, plan, or even a relationship seems to have lost its vigor. Perhaps there has been illness or long-term struggle that feels as though the very life force has been drained out of body and soul. Or maybe you feel as though you are further away than ever before from your most cherished dreams turning into reality. The Snow Shepherdess is an omen of the most unlikely sort of success. She brings with her a blessing of the rich, luscious energy of life in the midst of what may feel more like loss or even death. This does not mean you are to start trying to resuscitate a plan or push ahead even if all seems lost. You are not being asked to try and force an outcome, nor to summon the dead. Instead, you are being asked to let hope begin to burn in your heart for a resolution. You are unlikely to see it coming. However, that resolution will come suddenly and in an unexpected way. It will be a gift of grace from the Divine Mother, who herself serves life. Your job then is to not lose yourself in doubt, nor to grow attached to a particular outcome. It is to be curious and patient, to go about your life with the silent expectation within your heart that somehow things are going to work out, in ways you cannot necessarily see, sense, or feel at this moment. Being told there will be a surprise doesn't negate the surprise, but it does give us a chance to ignite hope which softens disappointment and despair. It allows us to have the courage to trust in what is coming, not enslaved by what has or has not had a chance to be. The oracle of the Snow Shepherdess also comes to you with this guidance. Whatever it is you are dreaming or imagining, no matter how improbable it seems, how at odds with logic it may appear to be, or however many people look at you like you are mad when you share your dream with them, believe. Put your faith in life. Let go of how and when, but do not let go of your dream. Let life manifest it for you through its natural power, which is considerable, and its natural impulse towards growth. If you are going through a particular process where your dream is nearly realized, but you feel as though you are being denied and tested, like you can just about reach for the cookie in the cookie jar, but your hand is being slapped away by some invisible force, then take heed. There is special guidance in this oracle for you. Your desire is not wrong, and it will not be denied, but it can manifest with more beauty, helpfulness, and aliveness if your intentions and attachments are purified. This will help you let go and allow life to bring you greater joy than if you try to take it for yourself or control the process and what it looks like in the final outcome. It does not mean you are not allowed to want what you desire anymore. It means you are being asked to soften your grip and trust that the universe hears you and will help with the best version of you, and will help with the best version of that desire for you. But you must let go of your attachment and allow it to be given to you. Whatever struggle comes up for you in that process, the fear, for example, that you won't receive if you don't fight for it, no matter the cost, is what you need to purify. You can do this with the healing process that follows. You'll feel freer for the purification, and your desire can manifest itself according to the higher plan of life more easily too. The simplest guidance from the Oracle of the Snow Shepherdess is to have hope in the face of what perhaps seems hopeless. Nothing is beyond the power of life, not even death, for life emerges again in new form, again and again. Place your hope in life, and you shall gain blessings of healing and comfort. No matter how final things may seem, love and life will prevail, according to a greater wisdom. And here's the healing process. Visualize or imagine a soft, white blanket of snow covering the ground. A gentle, pale hand holds a rich red pomegranate, which is then carefully sliced open with a gleaming silver knife. Scarlet juices and bright red seeds glisten and fall onto the pure white snow, creating vibrant patches of color: scarlet, ruby, and magenta, rich and luscious in the muted winter sunlight. Relax and breathe in and out slowly for at least a few conscious breaths. Say this prayer aloud. Fruit of life, juice and flesh, bringing life to that which was thought dead, I trust in your power to restore and receive, to restore and revive in the timing of that which you bring to life. I surrender my doubt, my attachment, my fear. I open my heart to receive the grace of life for greatest good, through the loving mercy and compassion of Wild Kuan Yin, who watches over me and protects me always. I hold hope without attachment. I hope only for divine success and grace in whatever form best serves. I trust unconditionally. Through my own free will, so be it. That is why it's in my top. That's why there's 4. This is the additional one I added today. Oh, it's heating up in here. Okay. The next card is number 15. Play with me. It's one of my favorite art pieces. It's so inviting. Truly a playful invitation. You've taken the hard road many a time, and it's led you here, to a place where a different way to take your journey now beckons. There is a new approach to the art of manifestation that I want to share with you. It involves joy, pleasure, even when it may seem as though such delights are far from appropriate. To explore this new approach, you will need to let go of the struggles you have endured and your past suffering. You do not have to deny what you have been through, nor do you need to ignore your feelings. But you do need to be willing to put all that behind you now. You will not lose anything through doing this, except your past pain. This letting go does not have to be difficult or traumatic. If you allow yourself to truly let go, I will initiate you into an approach to life and manifesting your dreams that can be uplifting rather than exhausting. Acknowledge all that you have endured, but give yourself permission to release it now. It has served a purpose. Now it is time for another way. Discipline and commitment, focus, application, and hard work. These are all part of the spiritual path, of any path to long-lasting success. Manifestation of our dreams requires that we say yes to what holds meaning for us, whilst showing up for whatever actions and personal evolution is required. To do this means we can grow into readiness to experience what we are seeking. Dreaming of a different life or of a new vision is one step. The next steps are about becoming ready, willing, and able to live our vision. If you have a high-frequency vision of a life of greater freedom, of creative expression, and living as your true and authentic self, then imagining what it would feel like now to live such a life rather than just waiting for it is a part of the process of creation. We need to become what we are seeking to manifest. As we grow into it, evolving through our path of dreaming, action, and surrender, what we are seeking will no longer be separate from us. We are embodying it by bringing it to life through our consciousness. It is only a matter of time before it manifests in the world of forms as a physical reality. The path of manifestation, however, is not only about discipline and working hard. There is only so much that effort can accomplish, even effort intelligently directed towards our own growth other than that forced to bend to our will. There is a way to raise frequency, to become more magnetic. There is a way to raise frequency, to become more magnetic to opportunities, the right people, solutions, and helpful guidance. It is like adding spice to a meal that is already good, but could, with that simple addition, become delectable and mouth-wateringly delicious. This is the way of play. Play, if experienced with consciousness, can become a method to build energy, spiritual, physical, mental, and emotional. Conscious play is about relaxation and freedom to be in the moment. It is about becoming absorbed in something you love doing, or about taking pressure off yourself to spend time with people who care for you and perhaps make you laugh. It can be restful, like swinging in a hammock and drinking a fresh mango nectar, or active rest, like walking on a beach with your dog. It may involve curling up with a coloring book, no matter how old you are, and rediscovering the beauty of colors, the satisfying rebellion of coloring outside the lines, or coloring the sky pink and the mountains blue. Or it may involve strumming away on an instrument, singing as you drive the car, or dancing with the waves that crash on the shoreline at your local beach. Spending time with animals or in nature, not having to do something right or perfectly, being allowed to be creative, being able to imagine without having to be practical, to be silly or laugh, to feel free to enjoy being in your body and have fun without shame or guilt. Any situation where there is less emphasis on thinking and more on being and experiencing are all ways to engage in conscious play. Conscious play gives us energy and allows us to come back to our tasks with renewed vigor. It even allows us to enjoy the discipline that helps us feel safe, held, and on our path. It opens us up to life and increases our vitality and creativity. Without it, discipline and hard work can wear away at our life force. Conscious play allows us to replenish the inner well with life force. When balanced with loving and healthy discipline, there is no need to fear it. It can only bring benefit. With conscious play, as simple as it sounds, it can be tricky for us as adults to learn to allow ourselves to truly switch off. We often need to experiment and practice to learn what will work best. Swimming may work for one person, whilst another may prefer being out on the town with a group of friends. What works for you one day may need to change another day. Play is not necessarily a routine function. It is more about being spontaneous. Once you feel more confident in your ability to play, it could translate into being able to flirt with life, to be friendly and a bit cheeky with people from a good-natured place, or to pat the happy dog you see out on your afternoon walk. It doesn't have to be something you do at a certain time. It can become a way that you are in the world, open, spontaneous, relaxed, curious, and ready to engage and take delight in what comes your way. All the strength you have developed through discipline and hard work over the years can now be channeled into giving yourself permission to trust and let go, for this moment at least, to allow yourself to explore conscious play. The more you allow yourself to learn how to engage in it, the less you'll feel stressed and at odds with that need for relaxed spontaneity, and the more you'll be willing to exercise discipline with healthy moderation. It is not about choosing one over the other. It is about creating balance. To feel safe enough to let go and play, we have to trust that we have the discipline to apply ourselves to our work again when it is time. There is no need for extremes here, just a willingness to loosen your hold a little, not throw it away altogether. The healing process will help you manage this balance as you learn to trust in your own natural rhythms for activity and rest. This oracle brings you guidance. A new way of life is seeking you out. You can best receive it by learning to walk a moderate path with some balance in your life, balance between hard work and generous amounts of rest and play. This balance prevents you from becoming drained and allows you to sustain a higher frequency more easily. You will know when you are in a higher frequency state because you will feel a sense of well-being, relaxation, openness, and trust. This will feel better than constant striving and enduring life as though it were a marathon. There will be times when your ability to endure will be required to get you through a challenge, but living your life as though it were a constant challenge with no time out for play will drain your vitality and lightness of heart. The new way of life the Divine Mother is offering to you is more aligned with vitality and lightness of heart. You shall need to cultivate that within you to resonate with that. You shall need to cultivate that within you to resonate with what she is offering, so you can receive what is being given, and to be comfortable enough to live that new way. Otherwise, it shall be a little like the Divine Mother standing at your front door, beckoning you to come outside and enjoy a game, whilst you try to ignore her because you have too much work to do. You can choose to do that, of course, but you will enjoy the outcome and actually progress further on your path and become more productive with your work if you listen to the Divine Mother and follow her nudges. If you have been considering taking up a course, exploring your creativity, learning to dance, or any activity that increases you but is not immediately obvious as a serious pursuit, then you are encouraged to do so to develop your ability for conscious play. The Oracle of Play With Me says that although you have been working hard and have endured much in your past, there is an easier, more balanced, and enjoyable way for you to live. It is on its way to you now. You can be open to that if you are willing to work with it, not push yourself all the time, and learn to let go and give up some attachment to the past. If you believe you will have suffered for nothing if you let go of your attachment to that past pain and all you have endured, then you are being asked to see things another way. You have learned from those experiences. You have always done your best and have lived the best way you could. Now there is another way for you to learn and live. That is all. There is no denial of the value of all that has gone on in your life, just an opportunity to consider opening up to the new way of being presented to you, an enlightening of you and of your life journey. For the healing process, say this aloud. Kuan Yin, who loves me unconditionally, help me let go of the fear, guilt, or shame that would prevent me from being able to play, to have fun, to trust in life, and to let go and experience all of what is being offered to me. Help me find the balance between work and play, so I may more easily receive your grace and grow upon my life path to experience more happiness, fulfillment, and joy. Through your divine grace, mercy, and protection, so be it. Okay. Third favorite in line, Ancestral guardians of light. Whew. I reach for you through endless forms and many different faces so that I can love you, guide you, protect you. I send my love to you through the gentle eyes of your grandparents. I look upon you through the adoring gaze of a child. I provide you with a home and a gift, and gift you with a body from my own body, as I take the form of Earth Mother. I am your Holy Mother in endless forms, all the better to demonstrate my love for you in endless ways. I even manifest my will, guidance, and love for you through your connections with others. My love for you is so vast, and as you learn to recognize it, you shall see me reaching for you in every person, every encounter, every circumstance, every event in your life. You have come to this planet at my request to be a bearer of light and a way shower for others, and because you honor me in taking human form, so too shall I honor you. You are my wild, divine child, and I am your loving guardian in many forms. I even exist within you. Look within your heart, and there you shall find me. We travel together always. There is no need for you to feel alone. I am always with you, empowering you so that you are able to take this journey of love. Souls travel in groups. Whilst we each have our own unique and wild being at our own individual, and our own individual destiny to fulfill, we also participate in and contribute energy towards a group process of evolution. This is not separate from our personal journey, but a broader aspect of it. The others in our soul groups also brings us energy from their life journeys, spiritual learning, and wisdom. As each one of the members of the group work on their personal path, each member feels the process of the group as a whole. At times, certain members shall lead the way. At other times, they will drop back and be led for a time. The positions of leadership and exertion involved shifts in cycles based on what will work best for the group. The positions of leadership and exertion involved shifts in cycles based on what will best work for the group. The soul groups within which we are growing, loving, and evolving are our true soul families. That may include a biological family in the more traditional sense of the word, or a soulful family in the sense of those with whom we feel an unwavering and profound connection, irrespective of whether or not we are connected biologically, whether or not we have even met them in person. As our perspective broadens, we will realize that our soul families are ever expanding along with our capacity to love. Depending on your perspective, you can keep increasing your realization of the circle of influence within which your soul evolves until it encompasses all of humanity, all of life, even beyond life on Earth. However expansive we realize our ultimate soul family to be, There will certainly be times when particular soul groups, such as family or other human tribes to which we belong, give rise to issues that demand our attention if we are to progress spiritually. An example of this may be an issue in the consciousness of your biological family. Perhaps a wounding around survival or money, sexuality or spirituality, where beliefs about such matters keep the family locked in a fear-based reality. This group needs to break free from fear, to grow and to open to love. Often a more advanced soul will incarnate into such a group to help them evolve, and perhaps feel they are somehow different or a black sheep in the family. Whilst no soul can force another to grow, or is even responsible for the growth of another, every human being has free will, which includes responsibility for deciding if they will receive the help of another or not. Such black sheep souls will hold a light and consciousness, an inner fire of love, so that other members in the family can find their way through darkness of fear and into love more easily, if they so choose. Another example of a soul group creating an opportunity for spiritual growth could be through one of culture. If you are a soul who wants to evolve through contributing healing to a broader group, an entire culture, social class, religious group, or nation, then this can become a sort of human family into which you incarnate with a view to offering assistance and light. One example of this may be through your choice to incarnate into the Western world. Here, understanding of feminine wisdom is still relatively underdeveloped and allows for short-sighted and environmentally damaging decisions to be made by political authorities. Such choices would not even be considered, let alone acted upon, should there be more wisdom available to those individuals. So numerous souls incarnate to bring their wisdom and light to groups in need of spiritual growth. It can be frustrating, even confounding, and exhausting to a human being who sees and knows another way when the community around that individual seems deaf, dumb, and blind to the wisdom being offered. Yet, peace and energy will return to the soul when they remember they chose to incarnate into such dense consciousness, because light is most needed where there is darkness, and that one can conquer that darkness far more rapidly and effectively by growing the light rather than dwelling too much upon the nature of darkness. Whilst each and every individual has free will to choose how much they grow, there are edges of what is available to group endeavors. There are many holy ones upon this earth who are committed to staying here until all of humanity is spiritually liberated. This is the most dramatic example of evolution of the group soul. People who have a genuine desire within their heart to improve quality of life, not only for themselves but for other beings too, are committed to working at a group soul level. They may do this through healing work, or sacred activism and political campaigning, or by contributing to greater human happiness through educational, economic, or medical fields. There is much support for such people from the Divine Mother in her many forms. The Oracle of Ancestral Guardians of Light comes to you with guidance. You are a spiritual leader in your own unique way, helping the flock of humanity, in particular, the groups within which you feel you belong, to move forwards. There will be times when that feels obvious to you, and you will feel strong, energized, and up to the task, when you will be asked to continue with confidence. At other times you will feel tired and need rest, when you will be asked to drop back to replenish your energy reserves and cruise for a time so that you are empowered to serve again through leadership when needs be. Guidance also confirms that you are working through issues at this time in your personal path that are by no means just about you. If you are having dreams with healing themes or that express pain you cannot quite understand or articulate relating to your personal life, or if you are experiencing emotional eruptions and thoughts that don't seem to relate to you personally, then you are tapping into what is happening at a broader level in the soul groups to which you have dedicated your life journey to serve. So know this, you are not crazy. You are simply working at a broader level. In such moments, you can know that you are leading the pack for a time, and the work you are doing through your own consciousness will not only be healing to you, but helping to heal the greater soul tribes to which you belong. Know also that this sort of service makes you a stronger and more powerful soul. It is a sort of karmic and spiritual weightlifting, empowering but demanding of rest at times so that you can return even stronger again. From learning how to carry and then master and transform that extra responsibility, you will become capable of receiving even more light, love, and divine empowerment and spiritual growth and wisdom as gifts from the Divine Mother. You are also being guided at a deeper level to not leave formation, so to speak. You are meant to be where you are and doing the work you are doing. Sometimes you may just want out. It will be as though you have had enough of the issues arising, the wounding of your family or of humanity, and are tired of the same issues arising again, as though history could do nothing but repeat itself forever. When you feel that a part of you is screaming, "Enough!" then this is when you will be guided to change your position in the formation to let another lead for a time. These are the moments when you need to drop back to take care of your own immediate needs for rest and replenishment, and for cleansing and reconnection to your spirit. You can take all the time you need to replenish, but your guidance is that you are not to turn your back on what really matters to you. You are tired, but you shall repair. Restore and rally again when the time is right. This oracle brings you an additional message. You have those that love you in the spirit world who have the greatest of experiences to draw upon and share with you. They could be relatives and spiritual teachers who have left their bodies but remain connected to humanity out of conscious choice to serve from the inner planes, or the divine ones who are masters of unconditional love and have walked this human path before. If you feel that you have hit a point in your path where you don't really know how to proceed, this oracle comes to you with reassurance. There are others who are guiding the formation at this time and will lead you forwards. You don't have to know how, you just need to keep going at a pace comfortable for you. When the time is right to surge ahead and lead again, it will happen naturally, without you thinking. This is how you change position in the hierarchy of the group over time. It just happens naturally. To honor the wisdom of this oracle, you must remember to take care of yourself and honor your individual journey, even when part of that journey relates to the soul families or groups within which you are traveling, learning, and growing this lifetime. This is especially so when the group wounds you are working through are not acknowledged by the group, such as a family that denies the truths you are experiencing through your inner work because they cannot summon the consciousness to take responsibility for their part in the matter. During such times, you need to trust that you are not making things up or going crazy. You are working at a collective level because you as an individual are expansive and stable enough to help process collective issues and bring more light, compassion, and resolution to the matters at hand. The Divine Mother wishes to acknowledge you now, and it is acknowledgement that you are most worthy of, beloved, for all that you do and have done in service to love. She wishes to empower you with assistance in many ways to continue the good work you are expressing through your own personal journey that benefit others far more profoundly than even you realize. You are a part of a team of helpers working in loving service to humanity, and you are asked to remember to call for their loving help in all ways. You do not walk alone. For the healing process, open your arms wide in a V shape, fanning out slightly. Imagine, feel, or perceive a light streaming from the center of your heart along each of your arms and pouring out of the ends of your fingertips, fanning out as far and wide as you can possibly imagine. Then imagine behind you a warm, vibrant sun sending love in through the back of your heart, making the energy that is running from your own heart and out of your hands even stronger. You can lower your hands to a comfortable position and say this invocation aloud. I call upon the loving grace of Kuan Yin and the unconditional love and wisdom of my ancestral guardians of light. I ask for blessings of leadership and of wisdom. I ask for the courage to take rest when it is needed, and for the wisdom to understand the part I play in the greater group process. I ask for the respect I need to acknowledge the importance of my own journey, and the compassion I need to respect the journeys of others, even if I don't always understand the choices others make. I give thanks for the spiritual guidance and assistance being offered to me now. And I ask for the discernment to be able to recognize when a wisdom greater than my own being is guiding me. I thankfully now receive the gift of being held by my soul group and being empowered by its greater healing process of which my own path is a part. I give thanks for the gift of my soul connections that work in tandem with me to bring about a more loving reality that is awake upon Mother Earth for all humanity. I humbly thank you for the gift of spiritual leadership, and I ask that I serve with humility, confidence, and trust in love. May my intentions and actions be pure through the protection of Kuan Yin. Through divine grace and my own free will, so be it. Bow your head to your hands in prayer position for a moment, and relax there for several breaths. Sense the peace within you that is always there, even underneath the most intense dramas or suffering. You have completed your healing process. Okay, my last vertical card, and then we'll get into the horizontals. I know, there's so many, but this is the last card in the deck, Wild Red Rider, Blessing Bestowed. I descend with wild love, and bring with me such grace that there shall be an inflow of harmony, serenity, goodness, and order restored to your life. There is no limit to the way that I can land in your life, to the order that I can call forth from the wild chaos that my truth may first evoke. I see from higher perspective that which can be altered so that the patterns of your life can heal and you can step forward on your path with clear purpose. I bring you the embodiment of my mantra, opening your heart and granting your prayer immediate answer. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. The Oracle of Wild Red Rider, Blessing Bestowed, is a divine wild card in this oracle deck. It asks you to let go completely and allow the divine to take over. Harmony and order is promised, but it may involve you and your life being shaken up a little first. The oracle is the Divine Mother saying, "Giddy up. I've got work to do with you. Let's go." She is not in her calm and tender form, but in a wild, loving, free, and fearless form, urging you to go willingly with her on the wild ride she is going to take, right through the center of your life. So, best to surrender and hop into the saddle behind her as she prepares to descend and create some loving, compassionate, and wild mess in your life. Sometimes it seems as though the most logical step for a successful journey is obvious. Certainly to our mind, it can seem as if we already know what should happen next for the best possible outcome to take place. However, the divine can see things rather differently with absolute awareness of obstacles ahead should the most apparently logical path be pursued, which could derail our progress rather than support it. The divine knows that there are unlimited paths to the desired outcome and that the journey itself is of importance. Living your divine life journey isn't just about any means to an end. It is about the experience of the journey itself. When the mind is in charge, that can feel like an almost endless series of tasks to accomplish before we can have what we want. Just as we are about to get there, yet another task looms or another obstacle is before us. This is because although working with the mind and opening it up will help us on our divine journey in life, the mind is not capable of taking the steps for us. The actual journey itself has to be taken through the heart, through surrender, through allowing the divine to let it happen as it will happen, with trust that it is a benevolent force that actually wants to help us accomplish our life purpose. There is a spiritual teaching that says the mind is like a pole vaulter's pole. The pole can be used to push us up, but if we wish to complete the task and rise over the bar, we have to let go of the pole. We'll know when we are doing this because at times it will feel scary or exciting, or both. There will seem to be unlimited possibilities and we won't really have any idea what will happen or how that mysterious journey will take place. The more we practice this mental letting go and centering ourselves in the heart, the more peace we will find in this process. We won't have to know in order to feel safe, and we will eventually learn to feel more comfortable in that space of unknowingness, even where once it might have been the most terrifying and uncomfortable space imaginable. As we learn to relax in that space of being held by life and responding to it rather than trying to control and direct it, we will enter into a state of living surrender. We become exceptionally receptive to life, less resistant to divine nudges in this direction or that, and we allow the universe to naturally flow through us, according to its own innate intelligence of growth. We become more attuned to our wild divinity than our tamed, conditioned mind. We can allow ourselves to be manifested by grace rather than seeking to manifest from our own smaller perspective. Of course, we can still dream our dreams and co-create with life. This is a beautiful part of aliveness. However, to open up and say to the wild Red Rider, Holy Mother Kuan Yin, I trust you, I surrender to you. I know you'll lead me in wise and brilliant ways that are beyond what I can perceive at this time. Thank you. Whenever you say that, you are empowering your path with a spiritual booster shot of grace. This can clear future problems and open you up to the fulfillment via a more efficient course. when the oracle of Wild Red Rider, Blessing Bestowed appears, know that the divine is asking you to forget about nice plans and things that make sense and about routines and strategies. It is a time to take your hands off matters. It is a time to let your priorities be adjusted and your viewpoints be turned inside out. You won't be eating at the banquet of life off a clean dish, or politely sitting at the table with a fork and knife. You'll be messily munching away, sitting on the ground, feasting on chunks of life with the Divine Mother. You'll be messily munching away, sitting on the ground, feasting on chunks of life the Divine Mother shoves into your mouth to satisfy your wild and hungry soul. It is not a time to look pretty and worry about appearances. It is a time to come out of your head, into your body, and allow yourself to feel and experience it without recrimination, analysis, shame, or judgment. This is your irresistible invitation to the divine party where there is aliveness to be experienced beyond that which makes sense to your mind, even your values and philosophies. It takes a brave soul to be willing to run the risk of realizing you have known very little up until this moment. But the gifts in return for this messy, risky journey are abundant and delicious. You won't be the same person after an encounter with the Wild Red Rider, but you will be more of your true self, more alive, empowered, and vibrant than ever before. No matter if things seem at a critical juncture or not, much appears, on the surface level at least, to be happening at all. No matter if things seem at a critical juncture or not, much appears, on the surface at least, to be happening at all. Wild Red Rider, Blessing Bestowed, appears when grace is going to sweep in and change things according to the highest and greatest good for you and all concerned. The oracle brings the message that no matter how impossible a resolution may seem to be, the divine is handling it. Often, the divine is handling life the most when it seems utterly out of control to the human perspective. So it is important that no matter what, you keep your faith. If you have been praying for assistance with any matter already, then this oracle is a most powerful statement of assistance granted. Your beloved Kuan Yin is rapidly bringing you blessing. Allow her complete and unfettered access to your heart. So, you are asked, through this oracle, to receive Kuan Yin's grace unconditionally. This is simple to do, though not always easy. Firstly, complete the simple prayer in the healing process. If you find it hard to speak this prayer with conviction, to believe in what you are saying, or have a feeling of not really being able to hand things over, then repeat the short and powerful process prayer every morning and night until you feel you have really let go. If you pick things up again, which you will know if you start worrying about how it's all going to work out or have underlying anxiety or stress rising up again, then simply go back to the process and continue it. You cannot overuse this prayer. You could say it many times a day, every day, for the rest of your life, and you will only grow in power and peace through working with it. So feel free to say it once with feeling, or as often as needs be. Trust your own sense of that. The more you can feel what you are saying as your own truth, the more you empower her grace to take over matters and assist you in fulfilling your destiny. Remember, whilst only you can walk the steps, the divine very much would like to help by clearing at least some of the path before you and making sure there is plenty of light for you to be able to see your way forwards. This oracle also brings you particular guidance. Make the choices that, in this moment, feel as though they will help you become more alive. There is always the known option. However, life happens through growth, through embracing the unpredictable, the new, the untried, and the unfamiliar. It doesn't always have to be difficult and uncomfortable. Sometimes it can just feel more interesting, intriguing, and fresh to allow yourself to choose something different. If there is a part of you that feels hemmed in by your lifestyle, by your work, or by some indescribable, invisible, and yet palpable sense of inner restraint, and you yearn to get wild, howl at the moon, drum on the beach, or dance by the fire, then you are encouraged to explore this wild self. It doesn't mean that your whole life must turn on its head. Well, it might. But equally, it might not. What is important is that you lay claim to your freedom to express the wildness in you, that you dare to break with even your own conventions to become more free. This will open up your mind, your creative energy, and your passion for life. It is not about rebelling for the sake of being different. That lacks spontaneity and authenticity. It is about daring to challenge that which has become habitual, structured, methodical, and staid. Method and discipline are important and serve a role in creativity. However, if there is no willingness to allow for utter freedom, for wildness and chaos at times, then there can be no true creation. This is not a time for structure and familiarity. This is a time for freedom, for wild abandon, and for breaking free from what has been established. You may find that there is an improvement upon what has been, or a complete and utter demolition and rebirth that eventuates from your increased aliveness. Whatever will be, through the grace of the healing process and the compassionate nature of Kuan Yin, you can be assured that it will serve love and benefit all souls. If you draw this oracle card with any other card in this deck, the effect is to amplify and empower the messages of the other card with the blessing of Kuan Yin, something like a double blessing. Consider it a powerful healing omen of resolution and miraculous, loving intervention to be granted. The more you surrender, actively responding when needs be, and absolutely letting go at all other times in body, heart, and mind, the more empowered this healing grace will be to do its beautiful work on you and your life. For the healing process, place one hand on your heart, whichever hand feels right for you. Imagine there is a light glowing in your heart, and that you can feel, sense, or imagine that light gently warming and soothing the palm of your hand. Say the following prayer. I call upon the wild grace, intervention, and mantra of beloved Kuan Yin. I surrender my mind completely into your heart light as it emanates through my own heart now. Thank you for your unconditional, loving grace now flowing into my life in all ways. I receive your presence unconditionally and trust in the outcomes unfolding for my highest good. Help my wild nature be free, embraced in your love as that wild divinity comes alive in the world. May I have the courage to honor my aliveness beyond my need for familiarity. May I have enough love within me to treasure life and to wish for liberation for myself and all beings. May I become more of my true, wild divine self and thrive in the wild freedom and grace of life itself. Through your compassion and my own free will, so be it. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. You have completed your healing process. Once again, thank you for being here. I still have 3 cards too that I want to express. These are my top vertical cards. Wild Red Rider, Blessing Bestowed, Ancestral Guardians of Light, Play With Me, and the Snow Shepherdess. I'm just taking a quick meditation break. I don't do any editing on my videos. I just record and upload. I just need a little break, some space. And this is also an invitation for you. Here is some space. if you have watched this video from start to finish, El Moria would like to thank you. Ascended Master El Moria, thank you for being here and for blessing the collective with the first ray of power. Sorry, I had lunch a few minutes ago, and so my stomach is doing some work on the side. Oh yes, and here's El Moria. Oh yes, this is perfect. I was just talking about digestion. And so does this oracle. Harvest Mother watches over me. I watch over you, whilst you gaze within, for the time has come when you are best to gather your energy and direct it to your inner world. So much has been happening around you and within you, so much that it needs time and attention to now be distilled, integrated, and digested. It will bring you greater peace and a sense of completion to do this now. It is time to harvest your emotional world to be ready to gain the rich wisdom of your experiences. Then you shall be ready for us to begin again for another chapter in your life journey, wiser, stronger, and ready, together. There are times on the path when we feel the urge to go within, to withdraw from the world for a time, to claim some space. We may not know why, but if we avoid that impulse, we miss the great benefit that such a process can bring. In this world, we are typically taught that things happen through effort directed towards external action. Of course, there is a time and place for this. However, there is also a time when the action needs to be internally oriented and far more about receiving and restoring, rather than doing, about contemplating and integrating, rather than strategizing and initiating. This oracle comes to you at a time when there has been so much happening in your outer world, and even in your inner world, so much awakening, so much experience that it needs to be processed, sorted through, and released into some sort of useful content. If you do not do this, you will feel a sort of uncomfortable fullness within, a sense of not being able to move forwards in life as freely as you would like. It may feel as though you need to empty out, create some space, and find resolution within before you feel ready to take in more of what life has to offer. If such a natural process is not allowed, you will be pushing yourself towards overwhelm, fatigue, confusion, and depression. The oracle of Harvest Mother watches over me, brings a message that it is safe and timely now for you to declutter your world, especially your internal world. Although clearing out something of your physical world may be a way to enhance this process. The oracle guides you that it is not a time to keep taking in more information, or to push yourself to have more experiences, meet new people, or take new risks. That will all happen again soon enough. For now, you already have enough to process within, and you need time to do that. There is something very nourishing, healthy, and life-affirming within you, waiting to be tapped into, but you need to make a choice to do that. Now is a good time to do so. But you will need to step back from the day-to-day world, for a moment at least, and create some space to go within. The oracle of Harvest Mother watches over me also indicates a time of great abundance, of hidden gifts becoming apparent and being received if you are willing to create some space. This is not a time to keep going with momentum or pursuing something simply out of habit. There is rich, growth-fueling divine substance within your reach, and to receive that nectar of life, you need to change pace. To milk that nectar from the inner world, you need the right type of internally oriented action. This may be to record a segment from a dream, or to close your eyes and dance in your lounge room, allowing your body to express itself naturally and without shame. It may require that you express your feelings through art or by writing in your journal. It may require that you spend time in meditation, or to relax and do another reading for yourself, asking the oracle, "What is my inner self most wanting me to know?" You might choose to invite a most loving and deep response to that question by building an altar. Yes, you're called to build an altar. Building an altar to your oracle card, enhanced by offerings of flowers and a tea light candle, as you allow the intuition of healing wisdom of your inner world to show itself to you. Remember that although the inner world offers extraordinarily powerful healing energy, it cannot be tapped into directly by demanding that it show itself. We need to create a space with love, patience, utter acceptance, and willingness, from a place of trust, to hear, feel, and honor anything and everything being expressed. With this sort of work, we may not understand what comes up straight away. It could instantly make sense, though, and clarify a matter we have struggled with for years, cutting through and showing us the absolute truth, which, even if painful momentarily, will bring us swift relief and set us free. If our experience is one where we are working with an unfathomable dream image, for example, then we have to be willing to allow this inner medicine to work its healing process, even if we don't understand at a more intellectual level how or why it is presenting itself this way. In stepping back for internal work, we may worry about taking such time out from the world, as though we are stepping off the carousel or roller coaster of life for a time. Will our family and friends feel abandoned? What of the work that we have to do? So many demands exist for our time and energy, in the material world that stepping back from them may become an anxiety-inducing dilemma. The Divine Mother comes to you with guidance. She will keep an eye on things for you. She will ensure that all is well for your return. For now, it is more important that you go within. Step back from the world. It is only for a time. Do not worry that you are turning your back on life. You are not. You are affirming the life within that is already. You are affirming the life within that is ready for your loving care and attention. There is something within that needs to be drawn forth, something that needs to be pulled out of the unconscious and brought to full awareness, a feeling, an intuition or instinct, a piece of guidance or an understanding. It will be an important discovery, no matter how ordinary or minor it may seem at the time. This oracle also comes to you to affirm that you are being initiated into the feminine mysteries of intuition, inner vision, and the world of dreams, signs, and symbols. This means that your ability to read energy at a non-physical level will be increasing. This happens as we open, with curiosity and non-judgment, a willingness to receive messages, to remember dreams, to feel our feelings, and trust our body. The Divine Mother is watching over this process for you, guiding you through the inner worlds which can seem dark and misleading if you try to approach them with the same intelligence you use in the outer worlds. The outer world is in daylight. You can see your way around, and it makes sense to operate in a visually driven way. The inner world is in moonlight, and sometimes during a new moon, there is not much of that either. You have to learn how to operate in a different way, because there is far less light available, and one cannot see so clearly. In the inner world, the sense of feeling becomes more powerful and instructive. When you trust and follow your feelings, even when you cannot see the whole process before you, you will be journeying through your inner world. You will start to see with your inner eye, the eye within the heart that feels the vision. The Divine Mother will watch over you and keep you safe through this process of awakening sight. If you have been querying whether your inner insight, vision, or psychic ability is opening up, then this oracle brings confirmation that it is. For the healing process, you will need a sacred object that you can touch easily for this process. That could be a flower or crystal, or an image or statue that reminds you of love and the sacredness of the divine. It could even be this oracle card deck, or this card in particular. Excuse me. I will use my crystal and shamanic stick. I won't lay down since I'm filming, but feel free. Grab your object, lay down. Lie face down during this process, and comfortably touch your object with one hand whilst doing so. So perhaps then on a bed or lounge, or even on the floor may work for you, keeping in mind your physical agility and ability to move comfortably out of that position. If you cannot lie down, face down for any reason, then either choose to lie on your back or simply adapt this process to being seated. Also have a pen and paper or your journal ready. Say this prayer aloud. Divine Mother of unconditional love, Kuan Yin, watches over me now as I look within. I love my body. I love my inner world. I love the messages and guidance that it brings. I am open to receive that guidance, and I am grateful for all that is offered to me through unconditional love and divine grace. I only receive what is most helpful, healing, and instructive. I trust unconditionally in the divine protection surrounding me now. I ask for your blessing upon this sacred object. May it become the key through which I access my inner world. By your grace, mercy, and intervention. Through divine grace, so be it. Place your left or non-dominant hand over your object and lie face down with your other hand palm down on the ground, bed, or lounge. If you prefer to lie on your back instead or remain seated, use the same hand gestures, but remain in your chosen position of lying on your back or sitting comfortably upright. Close your eyes and relax for at least 10 slow breaths in and out. Notice what you feel or sense. Your mind may be busy or may start to relax. Just be with the process. A lot will be happening here, even if you are not fully aware of it at this time. Let go of the object and sit up if you are lying down. I recommend that you place one of your hands on your abdomen, on your stomach, and say this prayer aloud. I digest, integrate, and absorb the healing medicine of my inner world. This wisdom comes to consciousness according to the grace of the Holy Mother, who loves me without condition. May I be nourished into growth through the healing milk of heaven that flows within my being now, to where it is most needed. So be it. Now feel free to relax or complete your preferred method of self-expression for this healing process. you have completed your healing process. You may like to pay particular attention to your dreams in the nights following this healing process. If you remember segments of a dream, you may like to repeat this healing process, adding some dream work, such as drawing or writing about the dream, or even acting it out as a form of sacred theater, as your self-expression portion of the healing process. You can also repeat this healing at any time you feel there is some guidance within that is trying to reach you that you cannot quite grasp. This healing process will allow you to access that information via energetic methods instead. Yes, don't forget your pen, pause the video, or just stop and express yourself. There is no wrong way to do this practice. Namaste. I have 2 more cards. Card 33. Blue Mother, Yellow Mountain, Gibbous Moon. Strap in. I travel upon the path of grace over sacred earth. The echo of ancient prayers sound forth from the holy yellow mountain. The moon shall soon be full, filling the darkness with light. Victory shall soon be upon you, and the hope that I ignite in your heart shall swiftly become the joy of your celebration. Be serene, my wild, divine beloved. Be peaceful, whilst the power of heaven and earth become the celestial horses driving the chariot of your soul to its destiny divine. The Oracle of Blue Mother, Yellow Mountain, Gibbous Moon brings an assurance of the success of the soul. Soul success is what brings us genuine growth, healing, fulfillment, and nourishment. It promotes a long-term feeling of satisfaction and peace, a deeper and sustained joy, rather than a more superficial and passing high. This is different to how the ego would define success, which is usually based on getting what you want when you want it, with little thought about whether it would actually be of benefit to all levels of your being. Success of the soul brings the feeling of being truly fed. It is as though you have stumbled upon the only food that would truly sate a deep hunger, when other less nutritious foods leave you feeling as though you are full for a time, but never really satisfied and nourished. This oracle speaks of the sort of success that changes us from the inside rather than the way life looks from the outside. It takes us from feeling anxiety, separation, yearning, and need and hunger to a sense of serenity, connection, oneness, and wholeness. The depth and substance of the peace such soul success evokes within us is beyond comparison. Let me say that one more time. The depth and substance of the peace such soul success evokes within us is beyond comparison. When you feel it, you realize there is nothing else you need, ever. It is a feeling of absolute and utter completion. You would perhaps imagine that success of the soul would be so appealing, we would instantly drop our ego desires and surrender onto our spiritual path as soon as possible. However, the attachment to our ego desires can be most persistent, even if at one level we realize they can only bring us short-term satisfaction at best. Sometimes at more advanced stages on the path, there is even confusion over what the desire of the ego is and what the desire of the soul is. The ego may be rather taken with an idea that seems spiritual in nature, such as becoming a healer to help others. Whilst this may originally stem from a pure impulse in the soul, the ego may attempt to take over the manifestation process, pushing for it to happen in a particular way. The unfolding manifestation of the soul's purpose may then become slower and more awakened, become more slower and more awkward as the ego attachment has to be purified for the soul manifestation to continue. If the ego has the mind locked in opinion, believing that only one particular way, as chosen by the ego, is the way to be a healer, then the ability to be open to the soul's way, which may be rather different indeed, is compromised. The path of manifestation of the true soul purpose may become unnecessarily difficult, prolonged, or convoluted than it would otherwise need to be. If the ego grip is strong enough, and the light of the soul is not anchored in the heart sufficiently to counter it, then divine intervention may be offered to dislodge the ego grip, which has been suffocating the soul. This may give the soul a chance to expand and illuminate, and show the true path forwards. The ego may feel as if there is failure, or that something it wants has to be sacrificed. In a way, this is true. For the ego at least, there can be pain of loss and disappointment in things not going the way it hopes. However, the perception of the ego is very limited. It can believe that something not happening exactly as it should means that one will be miserable, perhaps even forever. This is simply not true. Once the soul path begins to flourish again, life can happen. The person, no longer held in the grip of their ego, no longer lives in fear and control, but becomes more alive, meeting reality where it is at. This is experienced as becoming curious, open, excited, and sometimes challenged, but feeling as though one is so loved that one will naturally blossom into the fullness of their being. Rather often, ironically perhaps, what happens when ego attachment is dislodged is that the desire is actually able to come to life. And the very thing the ego feels it is losing is what actually starts to come into being. The form that the manifestation takes may be different to what was once desired, or very similar. But the attachment has to be surrendered, otherwise life gets choked. If preventing if prevented from flowing, manifestation cannot happen. Sometimes a very different version of life springs up instead, and this ends up being more wonderful than what was originally desired. The ego, you see, tends to lack imagination, whilst the soul can dream the most extraordinarily beautiful dreams. You could describe this process of ego sacrifice for soul success as apparently losing the battle to win the war. The temporary disappointment of the ego, which may seem to us be a loss at first, allows for supreme satisfaction of the soul, the true victory. The Holy Mother's blue robes wrap around the soul, now held within her protection. Whatever attachment has been getting in the way of your actual soul success and authentic fulfillment will be subject to her intervention. Not only are you offered protection, but the possibility, even if in the midst of great change, to feel a deep sense of peace and trust within. You will know that whatever is taking place is actually helping you achieve what will bring the most profound joy, even if on the surface things seem to be moving in unexpected or unwanted directions. Know that any sacrifice you make here is to prize out of your hands that which is preventing you from being open to receive what is divinely meant for you. Despite initial pain, if the attachment is deep, healing and even relief will follow. There is no doubt around this, only the kindness beneath what can sometimes seem like tough love. The more readily we give up the attachment, perhaps more easily than we once could have, through the blessing echoed in this oracle, the less pain there needs to be. However, even if what you are asked to give up is something you never thought you could, and even if you know there is love behind this, but great grief in the loss for you, know that you will have much kindness, support, and divine nurturing through this process of opening up to greater soul success. All pain shall be transformed into a blessing beyond even your wildest imaginings. If you have been struggling to make conscious connection with your soul, or are not sure if your soul is progressing as best it can, the Oracle of Blue Mother, Yellow Mountain, Gibbous Moon brings you a positive response. Spiritual progress is being made, and success will come. If the intervention of the Divine Mother would be of benefit to you in any way, and the appearance of this oracle suggests that it is likely, then it will be granted. You can expect to feel as if your hands are off the steering wheel for a time. This is because the Divine is taking over to ensure you are on course and moving in the best direction for your divine fulfillment. The intervention of the Divine Mother is not only about the attachment we are asked to release so our alignment to the greater divine plan can be adjusted, however. Hers is also the medicine of hope and the promise of imminent celebration as she guides the soul on an uprising swell of joy. So this oracle also brings the promise of joy, of more fun and delight where there has been a period of seriousness, suffering, or intensity. It speaks of a lightening up on every level from physical to spiritual. It does not deny the healing potential of darkness, that in growing through our struggle and pain, we undoubtedly grow in our capacity for love, compassion, and wisdom, and therefore empower the light of our spirit. It does, however, indicate a time when the trend of a life pattern is shifting away from the darkness and towards the light, naturally. If there has been sickness or prolonged emotional suffering, mental despair, or any struggle that has tested your powers of endurance and faith, the Oracle of Blue Mother, Yellow Mountain, Gibbous Moon brings hope and relief. Fear not. The testing time is drawing rapidly to a close, and light will soon be pouring in. If you are already stepping through that darkness into light, and perhaps not wanting to relax in case something terrible happens again so soon, be at peace. You are learning to trust not only in your ability to cope with darkness, but in your enjoyment of the light. Sometimes we unconsciously put faith in darkness, seeing it as the way to grow since we have experienced so much of it. We just assume that is the way of things. We may worry that feeling good and trusting in light is hubris, a way to tempt the darkness to return. You can honor the power of darkness, even respect it, without having to feel trapped within it or at its mercy. The Blue Mother comes to us when we need to put our faith in the light to believe that good things can happen and will happen, and that life can be a source of sweetness, of happiness too. We do not need to deny darkness, but nor do we need to place our minds there. There are lighter dwelling places into which minds can settle. The Yellow Mountain contains the living prayers of every holy person, the royal voice of the Spirit, brought to life through the highly evolved human souls that walk the path of compassion. You are surrounded by loving assistance from the spiritual worlds. You are asked to let it support you to bring hope and relief to your heart, to help you align faith with the light in all beings, nurtured by the Divine Mother, who shows the way for us all to return home to our divine awareness of peace, serenity, and trust. This oracle brings you special and immediate healing if you have lost faith in people, you have been drawn into questioning or doubt about whether humanity can make it, you have concern about the state of the environment, you have been profoundly disappointed by a person or event in your life not turning out the way you had hoped, you are exhausted, depressed, confused, overwhelmed, or fatigued in body, heart, or mind. The goodness of the divine brotherhood and sisterhood of loving and evolved human souls who have nothing but affection and goodwill towards you and all of humanity reverberates out through prayers from the sacred Yellow Mountain. Those prayers can be felt as vibrations in your bones should you take a moment to stop and feel them. Your soul can hear them. Will you turn your attention to your inner hearing for a moment? You will feel or hear the prayers. You will receive them, whether you hear them clearly or not. But to even sense the vibration of the prayers can be a truly special, life-changing moment. Let the prayers of the loving ones, your own loving prayers for your spiritual growth and the spiritual growth of others, become your healing, your medicine, your therapy. They have great power and effect genuine healing in the world. Even the most desolate and despairing heart The bleakest mind shrouded in darkness and the most fatigued body can be blessed, restored and repaired by the power of this goodwill. These prayers. If it has been lost, your hope shall return to you. Your faith, no matter how shattered by experience, loss, or fear, shall return to you empowered and whole. Your trust and your enthusiasm, your happiness and your peace shall all be returned to you. Every prayer you make for the greater good of humanity, from a quiet place of simple affection and hope for the spiritual liberation of others, plugs you into that energetic network of goodwill and gives you the ability to help others and be helped too. The healing process will assist you with that plugging in process. The gibbous moon is the time just before fullness. It is only a matter of time before the light of the sun shall reach its zenith in reflection upon the earth, bringing the fullest extent of solar light into the night sky. The sun is an ancient symbol for the soul, and the maximum illumination of the soul light in the night speaks of the penetration of the soul to the fullest extent into darkness. The sun is an ancient symbol for the soul, and the maximum illumination of the soul light in the night speaks of the penetration of the soul to the fullest extent into darkness. It speaks of the ultimate triumph of the true path, of your absolute destiny and soul success. Whether it has been your ego or the fear of the collective that has blocked your progress, the intervention of the Blue Mother and the support of the Yellow Mountain is gaining a stronghold, and soon any interference between you and divine fulfillment will be removed completely. The gibbous moon also brings the message of fullness soon to be, and that the peak time for growth and manifestation is actually now. Jump on the opportunities that are there for you. Take action that feels inspired by the heart. Do what you need to do. Now is a time when your every action will be in alignment with a wave of energy reaching its crescendo. It is like a surfer catching a wave at just the right point to be able to experience the joy of an escalating flow, rising to the peak and creating an opportunity for a most satisfying ride. The Oracle of Blue Mother, Yellow Mountain, Gibbous Moon is ultimately an oracle of hope, divine intervention, and spiritual success bestowed. For the healing process, say this prayer aloud. Divine Mother of grace and wisdom, in all your manifestations of unconditional love, I call upon you. Bless me with hope, with grace, with success. I choose to unplug from circuits of diminishment and plug into circuits of expansive grace. I offer this prayer to all of humanity, and I give gratitude for the unimpeded flow of grace into my life as I do so. I celebrate the return of the light, and I give thanks for the blessing of darkness that now has me so ready to embrace that light. So be it. Sit down with your hands at your heart and repeat this prayer as many times as feels good. Imagine a field of golden light created from the prayer that starts in your heart and grows and expands as wide as you can imagine until it covers the earth. Notice the many golden lights in that one field of golden energy. Each one represents another being praying for the greatest liberation of all beings. Enjoy giving to and being in that field of grace, and allow it to heal you as you offer healing. Repeat the following mantra. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Thank you for healing with me. I did say I wanted to cover White Mantra Mother Protects, but if I'm being quite honest, I can't. I've been reading for too long. My voice will literally fall out of its throat chakra. But the reason I love this oracle is because of the reminder to chant Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Be sure to take time to meditate and integrate these teachings. Come back to this message whenever you feel you need guidance. Of course, you don't have to watch the full video all the way through. I don't really expect that, but you can always come back and just peek at a few of my favorite cards, my readings, the artwork in collaboration with the messages. Thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing if you've subscribed. I just kind of make videos out of a whim, and that's what today's energy told me, to sit down and talk to Wild Kuan Yin. It's one of my favorite oracles right here. And yeah, that is it. With love and gratitude. Namaste.